Hey, you guys, it's Peter, and I'm back. Of course I'm back. I'm not going anywhere. Beast! Peekaboo! I see you because I'm YouTube famous now. Available in the Christmas of 2022, the Christmas album, Dad, AF, jingle bells, jingle all the way. Hey! I'm dreaming of a white Christmas, rock on gold dust, woman, beast. How are you guys doing today? It is very, very early, okay? It is, well, early for me. It is 10:37 a.m. I have already done so much today. I had a dental appointment this morning at 8 a.m. and it went very well, I guess, kind of. I have many dental appointments in the future to make my mouth and my smile beautiful. But anyway, and then on the way home, my husband pulled through Hardee's for me. And I got some hash browns, and I also got a Diet Dr. Pepper because I'm on a diet. So anyway, so I got my fountain pop for the day because that's what you do when you go to the dentist. When I was a little kid back in the day, this is kind of like a little story time, see? When I was a little kid, I still hate to go to the dentist. But when I was a little kid, the rule that my dad made up was that if you went to the dentist, and after going to the dentist, you got to go through Arby's. I don't know if you guys have Arby's where you live, but it's like roast beef sandwiches. And you got to get potato cakes. I love basically anything carbs. My favorite food group is carbs, okay? So that's why I'm a vegetarian, but my husband calls me a carbitarian. So anyway, but you got to get potato cakes, which I don't believe that they have anymore at Arby's, and then a Jamocha shake. Oh my God, I love the Jamocha shakes at Arby's so much. But today I didn't go through Arby's, because I wanted the hash browns from Hardee's instead. So anyway, Hardee's is like a Carl's Jr. if you guys have Carl's Jr. instead of Hardee's. And then I came home and I ate my my hash browns with barbecue sauce. Don't ask, okay? It's delicious. It's like pineapple on pizza. I am so tired of people coming for me because I like pineapple on pizza. I do. I get pineapple, green peppers, and onions on my pizza, and I eat my hash browns with barbecue sauce, okay? Don't ask. It's delicious, right? It's like pizza with ranch dressing. I don't know why. If you're from the Midwest, listen, we're obsessed with our ranch dressing and ketchup on our omelets and then scrambled eggs too. We're kind of weird from the Midwest. We like weird things on our food. But anyway, I was sitting here and then I had to get my fix of Game Show Network because I love Game Show Network. Last night I watched, I think it was 3 episodes of Family Feud. I love the Family Feud so much. In fact, I tweeted out last night that if I were a composer and I was making a musical on Broadway, I mean, other than the beauty drama of 2016, my first musical would be Family Feud, the musical. And then it would be like Steve Harvey, and he would like sing out all the questions, and then you would have to sing out all the answers, and each day would be like a different live show, a Family Feud. Wouldn't that be so much fun? And the audience would like shout, and then everybody would be like this, and they go, good answer, good answer. It would be so much fun. And then the audience would be like this. Oh my God, I would love it. It would be like interactive theater, but like Broadway musical. Oh my God, it would be a sellout every single day. I just know it. So anyway, this morning though, Family Feud wasn't on. I was watching, I think it's called People Puzzler. It's like the People crossword. I always know every answer, and they're just like, and I'm like shouting the answers at Leah Remini, but she doesn't ever hear me. So anyway, I did that, and then I thought, well, why not make your videos early today? Because then you can nap all afternoon, because I love a good nap, see? So today's video is not, I know you're like, is this a Deaf Noodles video, though you already saw the title. So you know it's not a Deaf Noodles video, and it's not a Jaclyn Hill video. And it's not a Jeffree Star and James Charles video, thank God, because that video bombed, tanked, nobody cares about them anymore. But this is a Shane Dawson video, okay? And it's kind of a two-parter, because it's partly something that I saw that he posted, I think 3 or 4 days ago. And then also I want to talk about this huge, big secret that Shane and Ryland have. They posted a video, and the video was called Our Big Secret We've Been Hiding. And I really want to talk about that because I can't believe more people aren't talking about this. This is big news, you know? So anyway, so this is the first thing that happened, right? Well, first of all, if you don't know, Shane Dawson has made his comeback with this podcast. Basically, the titles of the podcast are like, Episode 5, the biggest conspiracies you've ever imagined in the entire world. Episode 6, the biggest, realest, most hugest conspiracies we've never talked about yet. Episode 7, conspiracies that we wish we would have talked about in the last 2 episodes, but we haven't talked about. Episode 8, all the conspiracies we haven't talked about yet in the Mandela Effect. Episode 9, conspiracies. He's just really bankrolling on this whole kind of conspiracy idea. But if you watch these podcasts, which I watch bits and pieces of it, they're not really that much about conspiracies. It's just him. I mean, they are. Like, he does talk about that in there. But it's not like the whole thing. And it's really him wanting to do this podcast, which I think is fine. And I think I think the team that he has for the podcast, which is his brother and Ryland and Chris, his videographer, I mean, they kind of make for a fun podcast if you like Shane and you like that or whatever. His humor is not funny to me, but there are bits and pieces, like I said, bits and pieces of the podcast that I think they're fun, they're interesting, whatever. I think it's a good move for him, in his like coming back or whatever. But they're getting okay views, but not great views for Shane. Like, I think max each podcast is getting between like 1 million and 1.3 million views, right? Which, like I said, for Shane is not great, but for anybody else would be really, really good. In fact, if you go back, and this is interesting to me, and you look at when the SIP started, the SIP was not getting like 1 million views, but the SIP wasn't doing bad. I just think, like, I don't know. I don't really understand why the podcast isn't doing better. And I kind of go back and forth with that. Sometimes I'm like, yeah, it seems like it's doing really well. And then other times I'm like, well, I don't know. Like, shouldn't he be getting like 5 million views a podcast or whatever? So anyway, but he's also kind of hinted that he's coming out with this new series and that he's been editing this series. And what is the series going to be? That was the last video that I talked about. We don't know what this series is going to be. Is it going to be a series with Jeffree Star? Oh my God, Home Alone 2. Is it going to be like visiting Jeffree on the ranch? We can't wait. Is it going to be another cash grab, makeup? Who knows, okay? And so all these people are speculating about what this new series is going to be that he has, like, on his Instagram story and on his Snapchat, he's kind of fed out that he is going to be doing this new series that I'm assuming will be on his Shane channel. And I believe the last series that he did was when they went to that haunted place, and it was like a 3-part series, and it really wasn't haunted, and it really wasn't scary. And yet he came out with merch anyway that said he survived all of that. Yet, to me, another cash grab. I mean, I just want to put this in kind of perspective for you guys. It would kind of be like if pick any YouTuber out there that you want. Any YouTuber in the world, okay? And if every 2 to 3 videos, if they made, or if they called that a series, because he always calls it a series, right? If every 2 to 3 videos that they made, they came out with merch exclusively for that video idea or that video series, right? And it would be like, okay, so, but you say and he always says, you guys, I don't like selling merch. It makes me so nervous to push the merch, but go please buy my merch, okay? Please, I don't want anybody to feel pressured, okay? I don't want anybody to feel pressured to buy a slime, but buy my slimes, okay? They're 25% off, but next week they'll be full price. So, he always comes out with this new merch. He just came out with new merch again, even though he doesn't like to push merch. He doesn't like to sell merch, but go buy his merch. Okay, so anyway, because I did cover the merch. So he's got this new series coming out. Well, then he puts up on his Instagram story, and I thought this was very interesting. I'm going to put these pictures up for you guys. He puts these pictures up, and hold on, let me get to them. James Charles dressed up as a bride. We don't care about that. Okay, he puts up this first picture, and this picture says, damn, I really did eat that SHI Toot. And it's him, and he's got his makeup on and all this kind of stuff, okay? I'm just going to go through the pictures first, and then we'll talk about them. Then the next one, oh, shoot, I got out of the pictures again. Hold on. Let's go back to the pictures, Peter. Okay, so that's the first one. The second one is looking for crumbs, he says. He's kind of looking off in the distance with his makeup and his, full face of glam. And then he says, couldn't find any. And then he says, is 8 the new I snapped? And that's him kind of trying to be funny and all this kind of stuff, right? But this is the thing for me, okay? I'm not really sure why you're posting these pictures of you in your makeup when you're trying to come out and say Like, and I know people are going to be like, Peter, you're taking this so seriously and whatever. Well, hold on a second, okay? People invested a lot of money, okay, in all of the stuff that Jeffree Star and Shane Dawson were selling. A lot of people invested hundreds of dollars in the products that they were selling, okay? So there is financial loss there that people suffered as a result of that. I know a lot of people were very happy with the products that they got, and a lot of people still support Shane and love Shane, and I get that and whatever, right? But I do think it's a point of discussion that, you know, he came out and he did this Shane Glosson channel, which is now his podcast channel, Shane 2. And he came out with this Shane Glosson channel, and he made it like, I am just so obsessed with makeup. I love makeup. I have a makeup room. Let me show you my makeup room. He never showed a look, okay? He did this whole series, which people now, I mean, I got in so much trouble when I called it a cash grab. People were like, I'm unsubscribing to you. How dare you call Shane Dawson a cash grab? How dare you say that it was like this QVC ad? How dare you say that? And I swear to you, now everywhere, people are like, oh, it was a cash grab. It was a cash grab. It was a cash grab. And very rarely, and I'm not asking for it, but very rarely do people come over here and they say, you know what, like, I was one of the people that said that you shouldn't have said that, and, you know, now in retrospect, I realize that maybe there was some truth to what you were saying, okay? And it was just an opinion that I had at the time anyway. A correct opinion, but it was just an opinion, and opinions are like, you know what, we all have them, right? So anyway, he really got his audience to buy into, and this is where I do feel like there's a manipulation of Shane Dawson that I think his super fans don't really see, because he plays this kind of like, hey guys, like, oh, like I was just when I was watching this vlog that he did, or on Ryland's vlogs, where it's this thing, and it's like he knocks on the door to go into this barn, and he's like, hey, come on, it's like really scary out here. Is this where they bury dead bodies? It's that very kind of like, that kind of humor, that, hi, I'm so scared. Oh my God, guys, what do I do? So he kind of gets people to like buy into that, and people really like that part. His fans really like that part of Shane, right? But it's such a character, okay? And here's the thing. That is a character just as much as the people and the characters that he played in the past, that he has been allegedly, whatever, canceled for, are characters as well. It's all just characters. So, like, who's the real Shane Dawson, right? And I know that it's like humor and stuff to him and whatever. But when it comes to like, okay, we never saw a makeup look from him. I mean, he put out the conspiracy palette. That was his palette. Never did a makeup look. Had an entire channel dedicated to doing looks, to playing with makeup, because he loved to play with makeup. He said that. Okay? And I like, when I say it, people are like, why do you keep on bringing this up? Because he said it. Because Shane Dawson said it. He was the one that said it. I didn't say it. I didn't say, oh, it seems to me like Shane Dawson likes to play with makeup. Shane Dawson said, I like to play with makeup. Never played with makeup. Never saw it in a video. Never did a video. Never sat down and said, I'm going to try a look. And so, for me, when he's wanting to come back and try to show that he's a changed person, and I have to tell you, I was like really starting to see him like change. I was like, okay, he's doing this, whatever. I mean, even about like coming out with a series, I was like, okay, let him come out with another series. Let's see what it's about. Maybe it'll be interesting. Maybe a lot of people were really excited about it, and were like, oh, even if it's with Jeffree Star, like I love them together and whatever, right? Actually, one of the things that was interesting to me was when I would do videos about Shane, or talking about Shane and Jeffree and whatever, just like the last two that I did, there were so many people in the comment sections that were like, what are you talking about with Shane Dawson? Like, what happened with Shane? Like, I don't know anything that you're talking about. And that's where, like, if you don't follow, like, the drama channels, or you don't watch, Twitter, or you don't really, like, read the threads, or, listen to people talking about it, like, you really don't know what's going on, which means then you only see what's going on from Shane and Jeffree's point of view, or Shane's point of view, or whatever, which that's fine if that's all you want to follow. But there are a lot of people that are in the dark about everything that happened, right? Okay, so listen, Shane, I hope that he accomplishes all of his dreams. I hope that he gets exactly what he wants. I hope that all of his dreams come true and whatever. And I was starting to see a change in Shane Dawson. I was, it seemed like in different podcasts he had kind of talked about, or one podcast, he had talked about the cancellation or alleged cancellation. Kind of seemed like he took some responsibility for me. You know, he's at one point he came out and addressed it. I still think he could have done a lot more, but at least he attempted to do that. It seemed to me like he was trying to stay out of drama. Then he posts these pictures. And I'm like, what are you doing? Like, this is really poking the bear and trying to antagonize people that bought your makeup, bought into this whole idea that you were just this regular person that really was infatuated and fell in love with makeup, when there was no truth to that, okay? And for example, let's just think about this. We've seen their house in Colorado. Their house has no makeup room for Shane Dawson to play with makeup, okay? We haven't heard about him playing with makeup since then. We haven't evidenced him playing with makeup since then. We haven't seen any evidence of him playing with makeup. We haven't even seen him hold a conspiracy palette since then. So it literally was a cash grab. When it was done, he washed his hands of it and he moved on and he was done, okay? So there's somebody walking in my backyard. Who is in my backyard? I don't even know who that person is. Get out of my backyard. So anyway, so he has just kind of washed his hands of all of it, right? So I'm like, why are you posting these pictures literally like poking the bear of the people that like put money in your pockets and were really invested? Because I mean, like, honestly, like, it doesn't affect me, right? But I'm thinking about the fan out there, the person that has been let down by you and also invested a lot of money buying your palettes, buying all this stuff, buying the lip scrubs, buying all this kind of stuff, right? And then you come out with this Shane Dawson channel that goes nowhere and they're like so excited for you and so, excited about the whole thing. And what about that person, that fan, right? I don't understand. It's kind of like salt on the wound to me a little bit. Why did you need to post those pictures? It doesn't make any sense to me, right? The second thing I want to address is for all of you super Shane fans out there that always come over here and you say, quit. I can't even speak. Quit clickbaiting titles to do with Shane Dawson, because I'll say like, Shane Dawson canceled again, and it's not, right? So today's video, I titled, hold on a second, I want to make sure I get this right. I think I titled it, Shane Dawson's Big Secret He's Been Hiding, okay? So for all of you that come over here and you say to me that I'm clickbaiting this title, no. Because I am only borrowing the title from Ryland Vlogs, because Ryland posted a video, and his video is called Our Big Secret We've Been Hiding, okay? Well, let me tell you about this video that is 24 minutes and 29 seconds long. First of all, I want to tell you something I thought was really interesting about this video. I went right into it. Hold on, I watched the whole thing. But he hashtags it at the top, personal finance, which what's interesting about this is when you hashtag a video, it like kind of helps it. Like if you like Google search that term specifically, it will bring up certain videos, right? So if like you hashtag it, this is why a lot of commentary channels do it. I do it sometimes. If you hashtag it Shane Dawson, it'll bring up like, and then you search on YouTube Shane Dawson, it'll bring up any Shane Dawson videos, right? So I was like, why is this hashtagged personal finance? Well, I get into it, and it's this sponsored video, appropriately identified as a sponsored video. Thank you, Ryland, for doing that, because a lot of influencers do not, apparently, Jaclyn Hill, for example, don't know how to let us know that it's a sponsored video, but he does it exactly how you're supposed to do it. So anyway, but underneath here, it's like, thank you to Rocket Money, and he does a sponsorship, and I thought that was interesting. Like, I don't see that very often. I don't know if that was something that was like in his contract for the sponsorship, that he had to hashtag it that. But I thought that that was interesting that he hashtagged it personal finance when nothing about the video whatsoever has to do with personal finance except for the sponsorship. Like, that was really interesting to me. Okay, so I go into this because I am super excited to find out what their big secret is that they've been hiding. And I thought, well, maybe it's that they got married, or maybe it's this, or maybe it's that. I will tell you the video is currently sitting at 529,000 views, and it was filmed put up 3 days ago, which is not great for a Ryland vlog videos, especially one where you're talking about our big secret. The previous video that he did was called We Got a Surrogate, and it's at 821,000 views. Now, what's interesting to me about all of these videos that are like kind of big topics for Ryland and Shane, and even if Ryland doesn't pull those views, I think people that are interested in Shane should pull those views. What's interesting to me about this is that he's only pulling between like 500 and maybe 1 million views, but mostly like 700 and 800,000 views. Remember, this was the guy that got Vlogger of the Year a couple years ago? Vlogger of the Year. And he's getting 500,000 views. It's like 3 days out now, so I mean, that's kind of maxed out, on a video called The Secret We've Been Hiding. When I think anybody that has followed the life of Ryland and Shane would want to know, well, what is this big secret that they've been hiding? Hold on, I think he says big secret. Our big secret we've been hiding, okay? So I watched this 24-minute video, which he kind of tells at the beginning of the video what the big secret is. Y'all want to know what the big secret is? You want me to ruin it for you, or you want to go watch the video for yourself? Well, if you want to go watch the video for yourself, get out of my video right now. But if you want to know what it is in 2 seconds flat, it's about them remodeling and decorating their barn so that their guests have a place to stay. That's their big secret that they've been hiding. Are you serious? Y'all want to come over here and complain to me and other drama channels about you know, the titles that we make and that we clickbait titles? Don't ever come over here again. Don't ever, please, okay? As a Shane fan, and complain to me about a title that I make on a Shane Dawson video when they post a video called Our Big Secret We've Been Hiding, and what it is Ryland measuring a barn upstairs so that he can get a dining room table in there, okay? Are you kidding me? That's your big secret that you've been hiding? Woo! We're all excited about that one. And then it's like, oh, this is where Chris stays when he comes to film, and this is where so-and-so stays. And then they talk about how their toilet tank froze one winter, and basically it's video clips of Ryland's dad doing all the work anyway, that they're not doing any of the work, it's Ryland's. Which, listen, if I had the money that Ryland and Shane had, I'd just outsource all of that stuff. True story, I would. I feel kind of bad for Ryland's dad always. He seems like a really nice guy, he really does. And the thing is that like Ryland really seems to like doing all this kind of stuff. But I think this is the thing for me, is that, I mean, title your video what you want to title your video. And I've said this before and I'll say it again. There's no YouTuber that doesn't clickbait titles, okay? But when you're at a point that you were literally Vlogger of the Year, and now you are titling a video where you are redecorating a barn, and you are calling that Our Big Secret We've Been Hiding from You. Okay, what that means is we don't feel like we can pull views at all anymore. That's what that's saying, okay? Is that we are so desperate that we cannot pull views. And that's why Shane on these podcasts, conspiracy this, conspiracy that, Mandela effect this. I mean, every single one is Mandela effect this, biggest conspiracy that. Let's fit as much as we possibly can into a thumbnail and whatever. And, you know, okay, whatever, but like to me what this says is these titles and all this kind of stuff says that you guys don't believe that you can really pull views anymore. Well, if you don't think that you can pull views anymore, then let's take a look at why you aren't pulling views. Okay, well, is it because you were allegedly canceled? Sure, probably. Is it because you didn't really appropriately address your cancellation, like myself and other people told you that you needed to do? Yeah, probably it is. And you didn't want to listen, and you wanted to stay arrogant and just, I'm going to handle this the way that I want to handle it, which means I'm just going to stay off of YouTube until I come back, and then I'm going to make a bunch of awkward jokes about being canceled, and then just hope that everybody forgets and it goes away, which it didn't, okay? And like I said, Shane Dawson lost a certain amount of his audience. A certain amount of his audience are waiting to see what happens, and the one in the middle, that they are diehard Shane Dawson fans that will never go anywhere. That's the 1 million that we're seeing on his podcast. Well, probably like 800,000. Let's say the other 400,000 over there on his podcast, they're the ones that are kind of waiting to see what happens. And that could go either way, you know? I really think for Shane to do And it wouldn't have to be a long video or series. It wouldn't have to be a 6 or 12 part series. But I think for him to do a 2-3 part series and just start it off with him talking to people and saying, you guys listen, like, let's just talk about what happened in the last year, you know? I'm not talking about a 2-session video where he's sitting down just talking to the camera. You know, I'm talking about where he says, let's look at everything. Let's talk about everything. Let's not make this weird, you know, anymore. I don't want to act like it didn't happen. You know, I know that this all happened. I know I put out a bunch of, you know, inappropriate crap in the past, and I'm embarrassed about it, but I want to move on. I love doing YouTube, and he's said that. He has said that to some degree. But I think if he came out with like a series, like a 2-3 part series, instead of like addressing all of this, and he addressed it and he took responsibility, and then he showed like what changes and what things have gone on since then, and really talked and had, you know, Ryland on there and talked to Ryland about like how it affected Ryland and how he and Ryland leaned on each other through all of that and got through it, I think that would humanize it. You know, I think like if he talked about, like he said in there about being in therapy, if he talked about being in therapy at some point or working out, he talks a lot about working out. I just talked about it in this vlog that he was getting ready to work out, how, you know, working out has really helped him, how moving to Colorado has helped in all of this. I mean, they could show so much footage and really share that whole journey, and I think people would, again, possibly see that human side of Shane Dawson. Part of the problem for me is that he can never take away the mask. Like, he has such a difficult time taking the mask off. And so there's this always kind of like tongue-in-cheek character that you get with Shane Dawson that you never really know like what's real or what's not, which is why I think like sometimes when he's making jokes that are directed at Ryland, or it seems like he's putting Ryland down, like the audience doesn't know what to do with that. Like the audience, because like I said this in my last video about him, and people were like, no, it's really uncomfortable. Like he says inappropriate things to Ryland that are hurtful. And there's so many people that say that, but there's a few people that are like, oh no, I get it. That's just how he talks to Ryland, right? But the majority of the people are like, no, it's really uncomfortable. So it's like, I don't think he knows how to take that mask off. Now, I don't know if in Shane's personal life, like if he takes that mask off. Now, I know the majority of you know that I met with Shane Dawson in Las Vegas years ago. I will tell you that when I met with him, it was a very real conversation. It wasn't like what you see in these videos. It wasn't like, you know, like, ha, and all this kind of stuff, and jokes, and real awkward, and oh my God, and I'm so scared. It was none of that. He came across as a very grown adult man having a conversation with me about the business of YouTube and plans that he had for future projects at that time and things like that. And I mean, it was just sitting around talking, but he was a grown adult. I was having a conversation with a grown adult. And this is a character that I see in these videos sometimes. And so I think for him to kind of remove the mask and get real and authentic with his audience, I appreciate that from YouTubers. I really do. I'm not saying every time you have to do that. I know people love the comedian, or whatever, if you want to call it that. I know people love the mask of Shane Dawson and his humor and whatever. I don't find him humorous, but I know that people do, and I get that. And I'm not saying he has to do that all the time, but maybe let people in a little bit. Maybe try to get some of your old audience back and let them see that you're a real human being inside that was affected by this. Even if you need to get angry and say like, you know what, I didn't think it was fair. I'm a little pissed off about it. That's okay too. You know, just be honest with your audience. Be real with your audience. I really appreciate that from YouTubers, and I think a lot of people do too, you know? I've said this for a long time. I think YouTube is going back to the relatable. I think people want to watch people that are relatable. I think people want to watch people, whether it's home decorations or candle reviews or I don't know what, right? I think people want to watch people that are relatable and they're just, you know, talking about everyday stuff. And if you get on camera and you share with your audience what you've gone through, especially when, like Shane Dawson, your audience already knows what you went through. They already know about this whole thing, right? They kind of just want to hear it from you at this point. And, you know, people are always like, well, why does he have to do that? He already did that and whatever. But he didn't bring us along for the journey, okay? Like, he got in a video and he said, at the very beginning, you know, and he was like, I'm so ashamed, but then I'm not going to say anything else about this. And then he came back, and even in his first videos back, when they were like touring around the house, he made jokes about being canceled, which said he didn't really take it that seriously anyway. He hadn't really learned anything from this. And this is the whole point of this video is, he's posting these pictures of him in these makeup things when that was a huge issue for a lot of people, and he doesn't really see how that's salt on the wound to some people out there. So I don't know. It's like, have you learned? Have you not learned? Share that with your audience. Let them see, you know? So anyway, let me know what you think about all of that in the comment section below. I love you guys, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.